Good evening, everyone. This is the On Point Weather Report, live direct here on New Freedom Exchange and streaming on New Freedom Network, streaming on Muslim Journal News, YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome. I am the On Point Weather Report, Imam Bilal, live and direct here on the platform. Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone is well this evening. We are live and direct tonight, and we're discussing Winter Storm Fern tonight. So, wherever you are in the world, in the country, we ask that you let us know in the comment section where you tuned in from. And we also ask that if you are able to share this live stream to your friends and to your family members, let them know that we are live and we have an in-depth discussion tonight that would take place about Winter Storm Fern and the latest with Winter Storm Fern and the impacts that Winter Storm Fern will have um, for a lot of people. We're talking about a little over 200 million people throughout the country will be impacted by Winter Storm Fern. So let us get right to it in a second. And we're going to share the stream, making sure we're sharing on all platforms, letting folks know that we are live. That we are live. So hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone had an awesome week as we head into the end of the week and approaching the weekend. So hope everyone has had a good week so far. And again, let us know where you're tuned in from if you're tuning in, as we just kicking it off right now, and making sure that we share the stream tonight before we get into discussion. And if you have any questions tonight, tonight is the opportunity that you have to ask any specific questions that you have related to Winter Storm Fern in your area, because we're going to cover some terrain tonight, and we're going to ask everyone to participate in the discussion tonight. Let us know what questions you may have about Winter Storm Fern, as the impacts will be felt all across the country for at least 280 or so, a little over 200 million people under some sort of winter storm watch or winter storm warning tonight. So we will get right to it and discuss a little overview of what we are seeing. We're going to queue up some radars, really some computer models, and some guidance. Tonight we'll discuss everything. We'll put everything on the table tonight, so everyone can be informed as to what to expect from Winter Storm Fern. So I'm going to share my screen, and we will get right to it. Let me see here. Let's go this screen first. All right, so if everyone can see my screen, let me know if you can see it. And tonight we're discussing what we're seeing here is the map of the whole United States map tonight. And as you see, it's very colorful. A lot of pink, a lot of blue or dark blue here, a lot of pink here, and a lot of light blue. So we'll get right to what these mean. So we have winter storm warnings. This pink color here is winter storm warnings for basically almost central Texas, whole state of Oklahoma, Arkansas, almost all of Missouri, all of West Central and Western Tennessee, basically almost all of Kentucky, and also southeastern portion of Kansas. And then the rest of these are winter storm watches in effect for northern Georgia, central and western South Carolina, basically almost the whole state of North Carolina, extreme western portion state of Virginia, West Virginia, etc. And even it should be watches up for going further north, even to the near northeast region. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's first concentrate and zoom in to where the impact's going to start first, and the impact's going to be felt first. And I like to say that this storm is about duration. It's about duration, not so much about strength, how strong this is meteorologically, in meteorological terms. It's not a very strong system. It is a moisture tap system. This will have a lot of moisture to play with, and there's also a lot of cold air that's being drawn down from Canada. That's going to run. It's going to run right into the precipitation that's going to become, or the moisture that's going to be coming up from the Gulf. And when those two collide, that's when you have winter precipitation to the north. Well, in the middle, you have ice. And then if you're cold enough, you have all snow. If you're in the middle, you have ice. And if you're too warm, you just have plain rain. So that's what we have. We have an active southern jet stream. We have an active southern jet stream that's going to pull in that moisture. And then we have a northern jet stream, which is going to, a system's going to drop down from, a low pressure system is going to drop down from Canada. And as it drops down from Canada, it's going to merge with the energy that's coming out of the, right now it's about to make the southern storm system that's going to merge with the system in the north. It's going to make land, it's going to come together over the next 24 to 36 hours. But right now, the storm system is just about to make its approach into the West Coast, where we get some more good data, because the data that we were getting, the Hurricane Hunters flew into it earlier today to get some data to help with the forecasting, to see how the storm system is shaped, what and etc. So the so that's what's happening. What's happening is we have moisture. We have a lot of moisture to play. We have a lot of moisture around, and we have a lot of cold air around. We're going to get to how brutally cold it's going to be after Fern. After Fern, it's going to get brutally cold for a lot of people. So, except for some, it's going to thaw out quickly, but in the north, it's not going to thaw out as much. So, snow and ice is going to stick around longer in some areas than others. Like in the south, for instance, you have a quick thaw in some portions of the south, so a lot of that will melt. But in reference to the north, we will have to deal with a snow-covered ground for a long period of time. So post Fern. So that's a little bit. We're gonna show some atmospheric models, computer models in a second, and show what's going on currently. But right now, I wanted to give everyone this view from the National Weather Service, which is all the warnings and watches and et cetera that's up. So first, let's take, for instance, central Oklahoma. We're going to dive in. This is out of the Norman, Oklahoma area. Time frame, start times, and et cetera. So OKC, this Norman, Oklahoma includes OKC, which is a major city in Oklahoma, and the surrounding cities and towns around OKC, which starts area 1, light blue, 3 to 8, a little darker blue, darker blue, 7 to noon. And then by the time we get to around Juma time, prayer time, around 1 o'clock, between 1 and 3, OKC, and then eventually the other suburbs of OKC. But I like to show you how tight the gradient is. So for ice, snow and sleet accumulations, northern portion of OKC, towns north of OKC, we're looking at 8 to 12 inches. That's Woodward and those counties and cities above OKC. OKC, with that mixture of maybe some sleet, maybe pellets being thrown in there, probably around at least a good half a foot, 6 inches of snow in OKC. And then further less, 4 to 6, and then 3 to 4 further south of OKC, because you have to deal with sleet accumulations, which is this graph here in the middle. Sleet, we're talking about sleet accumulations In southern OKC, 1 to 2 inches of sleet accumulations. That's a lot of sleet. And some areas, 2 inches plus of just sleet, right? OKC will get about a quarter, about 3/4 to of a 3/4 to an inch of sleet on top of snow, and then any freezing rain that falls is very little, or like a glaze or a small strip of ice or freezing rain on top of the sleet. So dangerous travel, very tricky travel in OKC, in this area in Oklahoma. Very tricky travel. Definitely stay off the roads, as this will pose a um, significant threat to travel throughout the period of time. So we're looking at your period of time again. Start times. These are your start times to keep in mind for OKC. So OKC is done. Let's slide down to our friends in Texas. Again, we're covering areas that's going to first impact first. Then we'll keep going east. Okay. Then we'll keep going east. So let's go down to Texas. Let's go down to Texas and let's go to Dallas, Fort Worth. Okay. Dallas, Fort Worth. Here we go. Dallas, Fort Worth. Your time, start time. We're looking at Friday evening start time. Dallas, Fort Worth, starting out as plain rain. Here comes that freezing rain, sleet, that ice. It's pink. Here it comes. As our courier gets dragged in, as it comes down, that rain snow line is going to crash. The 32-degree line is going to crash for the south. And what we take Saturday morning is this is all ice. Dallas, you're all ice. Waco, all ice. Keep going. Still ice. In fact, sleet and ice. Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Sunday morning, you might change. You might see some snow on the back end Sunday morning in Dallas. All right. But that's not the main threat, though. There's a main threat here in Dallas. That ice before the snow comes. All right. That's the main threat. How much are we talking about in terms of ice? Well, this is our ice forecast. To the left, all red, darker reds, and some heavy ice. Anywhere from 2/4 to 3/4 of an inch of ice in and around Dallas Fort Worth. Okay. And then on top of that, we will get at least maybe an inch or two, maybe I would say 2 inches of snow on the back end on top of the ice for Dallas, and a little bit more towards the extreme northern suburbs of Dallas. Maybe you'll get 3 to 5 in Sherman, but in Dallas Fort Worth, at least I would say 1 to 2 inches sounds solid in terms of snow on top of 3/4 of an inch of ice. And I'll break down. It doesn't take much ice to bring down power lines. It doesn't take much ice to bring down tree limbs, bring tree limbs down. All right. So this is why, if you're living in Dallas, you need to take precautions and stay off the roads Friday night into Saturday, into Sunday. This area should be already wrapping up. Oklahoma and Texas, you should be already wrapping up or wrapped up your preparations for Friday. Unless you're a last minute shopper, all your preparations should already come to a halt or wrapped up already in OKC and Texas, as you are the first in line. Okay, let's go. Let's go a little. What's going on in the chat? Let's check the chat. Excuse me, pardon me. A little on the weather. Okay, Winston-Salem is coming. We got Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem is in the chat. Shout out to Winston-Salem. Dear brother Farid Abdul Rahman from Winston-Salem is in the chat. So shout out to Winston-Salem. We will get to Winston-Salem in a second as our trip. We're going to keep moving towards the east. So we're going to get there. And shout out to Sister Haja Zakia Omar. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Haja Zakia Omar. Thank you. And don't forget, keep sharing to the chat. We keep sliding over. We're going to keep sliding over, going to our community in Little Rock, Arkansas. We have community in Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, your timetable. What are we looking for in Little Rock, Arkansas, right? What is this area looking at? Let's go. Okay, Little Rock, you'll get right now. We're looking at best bet for Little Rock, Arkansas, all snow to start 4 to 6 inches of snow in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's a lot of snow. Again, this is a lot of snow and ice for these parts of the country. It doesn't take that much to cause chaos on the roads. That's why we're saying tonight, stay off the roads. You have no business. Don't go anywhere. Your preparations need to be done because once this thing gets going, it's going to get going. It's going to keep going. 4 to 6 in Little Rock, more towards the northern portion of the state, towards the border of Arkansas, going up towards Missouri, 8 to 12 inches up there. But in the city of Little Rock, at least a solid 4 to 6. Okay. Any sleet? You might be asking, are we going to get any sleet? Yes. You might get some. You might get some sleet thrown in here in the area. Maybe an inch or two of sleet on top of this. Okay. Any freezing rain. So our ice situation, ice is further south of the state. So Little Rock, you're okay. But south of Little Rock, southern portion of Arkansas, again, we're looking at that 2/4 to 3/4 of an inch of ice. Southern portion of Arkansas, this is going to be dangerous. Southern portion of Arkansas, that's going to be an ice situation for them. We're looking at timetable. Again, this is Friday. Unfortunately, I don't know where's my timetable at for the situation. But this is going to Friday, also going to Friday, more so going to Friday evening into Saturday for Arkansas. Okay. This is just getting ready. Okay. So that's just to get ready. But you have winter storm warnings in effect for Little Rock, meaning that your time is coming. Get ready. And in fact, we'll just click in. It's just to show you, this is just the general jargon of all the counties. And then it tells you what to expect for the National Weather Service perspective, anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of snow. Again, that's a big jump. Because remember, we talked about northern portion of the state, central portion of the state. So anywhere between that 4 and 10, some areas may get more. Some areas may get less because don't forget the sleet and freezing rain mixing in, which will cause less in the way of snow accumulation, more in the way of sleet and ice accumulation. You don't want that. You want all snow, but nobody wants ice to deal with because ice brings down power lines. Snow does too, but ice poses a lot of significant problems. Okay, a lot of significant problems. So we're looking at from Friday from 12 p.m. to around 6 o'clock Central Time on Sunday. Okay, we're done with Little Rock. We're going to go now. Let's go into Tennessee. Let's go into our friends in Nashville, our community in Nashville, and our communities in Memphis. We have communities in Nashville, and we have communities in Memphis. Okay, now, Nashville, particularly right now, we are looking at a 20% chance that we'll see at least six inches or greater, 6 inches of snow or greater in the city of Nashville. Higher chance of seeing now almost 50% to the northwest or northern portion of the state, because again, we have to deal with what? Ice. We got to deal with ice. And when we have to deal with ice, that becomes the problem. Okay. Ice, 70%. We're at a 70% 70% chance that we see more than a 1/4 of an inch of ice in the city of Nashville. 70%. So this is an ice event. This is an ice event. Okay. In Nashville. Friday night, snow starts. Light. Then the mix starts. Saturday morning. That's sleet and freezing rain. Okay. And then as we progress through Saturday afternoon into Saturday night, it's all mix. It's all ice. That's it. Freezing rain and sleet. There is no snow in this. Saturday, that's all you're going to get. Sunday, you might see on the back end that this thing changes to snow Sunday morning into Sunday night. But that's after the fact we get that quarter to 3/4 of an inch of ice in Nashville. Again, this is a dangerous situation for travel. Do not travel. Okay, so enough we've done with Nashville. We're going to go north to, okay, Charlotte. We're going to get to Charlotte. We're going to get to Charlotte. We're going to get to Charlotte. Because he's asking Khadijah about Charlotte, because look, if we're looking at the map, the map is showing you how wide of precipitation that we're going to be expecting for over 280 million people are under some sort of winter storm watch or winter storm warning right now. This is about expansion. This is expanding of a precipitation shield that we're going to see. There's a lot of moisture with this thing. A lot of moisture. Let's go to Louisville. We have our friends in Louisville, Kentucky. Our community in Louisville, Kentucky. Winter storm warning, meaning it's imminent. The difference between a watch and a warning means your timetable is shrinking. Timetable is shrinking for preparations. We're less than 24 hours away. Winter storm watch, you got a little more time, 36 to 48 hours. Winter storm warning, it's knocking on your doorstep. Let's go into Louisville. Louisville is going to allow us to read the language. Okay, we're going to read the language to what the National Weather Service puts out. These are all the counties in and around Louisville, right? Let's go. Louisville, we're going to start with heavy snow. We're going to have sleet. We're going to have freezing rain mixed in with that. Again, just like Little Rock, just like with the situation in Arkansas, somebody is going to get at least 10 inches that doesn't have ice. Excuse me. If you don't get ice, you're going to end up getting 10 inches of snow in Kentucky. If you have ice, you will get less than 10 inches, maybe 4, maybe as low as 4 inches of snow, with up to a half an inch of ice. So this is about, again, where you are in terms of your temperature. That's why it's so important that we understand the gradient here, the temperature gradient, and the difference between going like maybe 25, 50 miles north, 25, 50 miles south could be the difference between all snow, and it could be the difference between an ice storm by a matter of miles. This is what we're talking about here. It's all a matter of miles. Okay, precipitation coming in to Kentucky and South Central Indiana around 1 a.m. midnight Central Standard Time. This is Friday, going into Saturday to 7 a.m. Eastern, and then lasting 6 a.m. Central Monday. This is going to be a difficult travel in Kentucky. Okay, let's leave Kentucky. We are done with Kentucky, and now we continue our turn east. Now I'll be remiss. We didn't cover St. Louis. St. Louis. Real quick, we go back to St. Louis. St. Louis. You know, again, you are on the northern side here, and you look to be all snow in St. Louis, with a range of 5 to 10 inches of snow easily in South Central and Southwest Illinois, and Central, East Central, and Southeast Missouri. So somewhere in this region, we want to average out at least between 5 and 10. Okay, so that's our friends in St. Louis, Kansas City, and then we're going to the Carolinas and to Georgia next. In Kansas City, let's go to, well, this is not Kansas City. Let's go to Topeka. Not too far away from Kansas City, but we'll go to Topeka. Small town, okay? Small city of Topeka. Okay, here in Topeka, Kansas, if you're in Kansas, you also getting all snow as well, at least on the low end 4 up to high end 8. That covers all central, east central, north central, and northeast Kansas. 6 o'clock Friday to about 6 p.m. Central Standard Time Sunday. I didn't talk about the cold yet. Cold temperatures. I don't even talk about this yet. How cold is going to be throughout the event with wind chills here in Kansas in the Midwest, 15 to 20 degrees below zero Saturday morning. 15 to 20 degrees below zero wind chills. That's called frostbite. That will get frostbite in a matter of minutes. That's dangerously cold. Can't express it enough that it's going to be cold during this event in some places. Okay. After Kentucky. We're going to get to after. Okay. We're going to go after Kentucky now. Okay. We're done with Louisville. We're done with, Kansas. Let's go to, wow, so much terrain to cover. Getting to the Carolinas. Let's go to Atlanta real quick. Let's hop down to Georgia. Our community in Georgia. Atlanta proper. This includes Atlanta proper, Macon just a little north of Macon proper, and all counties and cities outside of Atlanta proper, Athens, etc. Here's the timeline. Precept will arrive to you somewhere around Friday night and last to about Monday morning. Freezing rain, anywhere from a quarter to an inch of ice. Sleet amounts up to an inch. This is, again, an ice event for the city of Atlanta proper and the suburbs of Atlanta proper, northern Georgia. And I just show you the map. This is what it looks like. This is all pink, dangerous. When you have this amount of pink, this is serious. This amount of pink shows us how confident or the percent chance of getting more than a quarter of an inch of ice. Of course, higher towards the northern portion of the state. I anticipate the northern portion of the state of Georgia will be hit the hardest. In the extreme northern portion of the state, about 60% chance that they'll see a quarter of an inch or more ice. Atlanta's proper, there's about 36 to 40% chance of seeing a quarter of an inch or more ice. To me, just alone of just 40% is high. 40% is high. So even though Atlanta may not get hit as hard as the northern portion of the state of Georgia, it is still to be taken seriously that you will get ice. There's no doubt that this area part of the neighborhood will get ice. So please prepare yourself for a Saturday to Sunday period of precipitation. Mainly starting Friday night, but lasting into Saturday for precipitation in Atlanta. Now, let's go to northern state of our friends. Wow, we even covering and talk about our friends down to Mississippi, to Jackson, Mississippi. This is how much this cold air is stretching all the way this far south. This is how much cold air is coming way down south. Ice storm timing. This is an ice storm event in Mississippi. This is going to be a significant ice storm threat in Vicksburg, Yazoo. This is a borderline between Jackson, between a elevated and a significant risk of ice, even in the Jackson proper city. So again, prepare yourself. This is going to be serious. After 10 o'clock Saturday, ice comes in 6 a.m., 9 p.m. This is the timeline for precipitation. 9 o'clock Friday, 6 a.m. Saturday, 10 p.m. Saturday. Ice is just going to come down. The cold air is going to come trickle. Boom, 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 boom. You have all ice in Mississippi. All right. Let's go to the Carolinas now. Pardon me. Okay. National Weather Service out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Here we are. This is the state of North Carolina. As we look at the triad. Raleigh, Fayetteville, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Rocky Mount. Everybody's under winter storm watches right now. Let's do Winston-Salem. All right. Okay, let's click into Winston-Salem. What's going on in Winston-Salem? All right, Winston-Salem. Saturday afternoon to about Monday afternoon. Again, this is not about quick. It's not a quick hitter. This is time. We're talking about duration. This is why this makes this storm very serious, because it's not about timing. It's not about how fast this thing is moving. It's not moving that fast. This is about duration. Duration. Long period of precipitation. Be it snow, be it freezing rain, be it sleet, be it rain. These are long periods of precipitation, which amounts to a lot. So, heavy mixed precipitation. Heavy mixed precipitation in Winston-Salem. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Okay? Snow, sleet, and freezing rain. That's mixed precipitation. That's it. It's not gonna be all snow. It's going to be that ice, and you're gonna get ice, and that ice is going to accumulate fast. I won't be surprised here if we were to say somewhere again more than a quarter of an inch of ice. We're talking about 3/4 of an inch. You know, you get so much in around the 3/4 to an inch of ice. You're talking about tree limbs coming down. You're talking about power lines potentially coming down, potentially losing power, potentially trees falling on the streets. These are the kind of things we have to be concerned about, because these are things that could potentially happen. So we just have to prepare ourselves for that and consider, bunkering down, having your cables, your tire chains, your flashlights, your shovels, blankets, extra clothing, cash, water, first aid kits, flashlights, any prescription medication that you may take, make sure that's filled. That's already filled. Make sure it's filled. You have your prescriptions, any non-perishable items that you want to stock up on, stuff like that. You want to have that stuff prepared in case that you lose power, so you can make it out from the storm. How to switch to YouTube. Okay. Very good. So that's the Carolinas. So everybody in the Carolinas is basically the same position. Even if we went over to Charlotte, in terms of precip. Let's go over to our friends in Charlotte. I don't think much of a difference there, but let's go there. Greenville, Asheville. Ooh, Charlotte, here we go. Charlotte also on the Winston watch, but again, I don't think much in the way of change in terms of snow. We're talking about ice. This was an ice storm. It started out as a snowstorm for North Carolina. The conversation online was about, hey, it's going to be a foot of snow in North Carolina. Right? Some said it was going to be a foot of snow in North Carolina. That was the talk earlier, maybe 2 days ago. Things can change in a matter of seconds. In this field, things can change in a matter of seconds, especially with tracking and timing and precipitation. Things can change. And that's what we're seeing right now. That gradient, that temperature gradient is in that track, and that temperature gradient is not going to be we're not going to get that immediate cold push that we would like to make it all snow. That's going to be just cold enough, but not, it's just going to be cold, but not cold enough on that thin layer. Okay, so that's why it's not all snow in the state of North Carolina. It's ice and sleet and freezing rain. My beloveds, is sleet and freezing rain in North Carolina. And we're talking about 2 inches of sleet accumulations in Charlotte. 2 inches of sleet. 2 inches of sleet accumulations in Charlotte. 2 inches of sleet. So that's going to prove to be problematic for the city of Charlotte. All right. Now, we're done with North Carolina. We're about to go up towards Virginia and eventually to the northeast. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. There's going to be a really quick commercial break. Pay the bills. Roy, what's up? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. After we come back, we're going to talk about Virginia and points northward as to what to expect in Northern Virginia after this quick commercial break.
Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. They say the first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown. And to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee stingers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers. The healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's grounded shit. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundages, we help heal the hurt. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on.
All right, we are back. Thank you to shout out to Brownlages. It is a African American owned, Muslim owned Band-Aid company out of Detroit. Check them out in stores and check out their website for get you a box of Brownlages. All right, we're back. Let's finish or bring ahead to this conversation where we have Winter Storm Fern. For those who are just listening in, we are discussing Winter Storm Fern and the impacts from this winter storm, which again stretches about arguably about 280 million people under some sort of watch and warning tonight for what will be a long duration event. With lots of precipitation to work with, a lot of moisture to work with, and that will cover from Texas all the way to basically all the way to almost to Massachusetts, to Boston. Excuse me. So we just stopped in North Carolina. We're going to go up to Virginia now, and then we'll finally make our way to the Northeast. We'll cover the state of Delaware, New Jersey, and New York City, and then to Connecticut, and then to Boston. Which I'm surprised this map is not updated fully, because there are winter storm watches issued for this portion of the country in the Northeast, but somehow they have not updated the site. But for sure, there are winter storm watches issued for the whole region for sure. So we'll go to Virginia, western portion of the state. Here, I like to point out in the city of Lynchburg, for instance, Virginia, the issue here is that we'll also will have to deal with a long duration of ice, mixed precipitation in the western portion of the state of Virginia, mainly snow and sleet, which will be north of 460, and also south of 460 will be snow, sleet, and freezing rain. So even in this area, we're talking about, again, a very risky scenario in terms of, just like the Carolinas, you're not going to get as much snow as you once anticipated. Thoughts were that you were, but the shift has changed in favor to more of an ice situation. So even in this region here, you will have to deal with sleet accumulation and freezing rain, anywhere from a quarter of an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice, sleet accumulations as well. So you will have to start preparing now for this period of time. We're talking about Saturday morning to Monday afternoon in the Mid-Atlantic to Northeast. So your preparation should have already started here. You have some prep time should last before that period is over. So from tonight, Friday, Mid Atlantic, you should already wrapped up your stuff by Friday night. If you're in the Northeast and New England, you should have wrapped up your preparations by Saturday, because by Sunday, that's it. There's no travel. There's no travel unless for emergencies. There's no travel. We got to hunker down on Sunday going into Monday. That's when the heaviest precipitation, once it starts falling, it's going to fall fast. And it's going to accumulate rather fast because the temperatures are going to be cold enough for this to stick fast. All right. Now, see, they didn't update. So they didn't update the site, which is fine because that's okay. Because I know that this area here in Connecticut, New York City, and etc. I can speak to it because we have read the latest guidance here, and they have a news headline. But needless to say, we can read this too. But currently, there are winter storm watches in effect for all the counties: Fairfield, New Haven, Middlesex. This is Connecticut. New London, Southern Fairfield, New Haven, Middlesex, Western Passaic, New Jersey, Bergen, all of those counties in northern New Jersey, Connecticut, and the 5 boroughs, including Suffolk and Nassau counties and Long Island. And again, we're talking about Saturday night period through Monday afternoon. This is all snow in New York City and Connecticut. Connecticut, I don't think you will have to worry about sleet and ice. So for you guys, all snow. I am a little concerned about, again, the temperature gradient line for southern Long Island, so Suffolk and Nassau, even southern New Jersey, that mix line or that rain snow line will start creeping up. And right now it's being held back. But we don't want the high pressure that's above Canada. And tonight, well, before we leave, we'll show you the setup. That high, you don't want it to be too strong because it will suppress the storm south. Originally, the storm was a southern slider. Now it's more like a coastal situation, which is riding along the coast, which is ideal for snow for the bigger cities along I-95, right? Before, it was a Virginia, Carolina situation, in the southern situation. It's no longer that anymore. That's a fact. That fact has changed. That has changed. But what we don't want to see is that the high pressure now is starting to flee. If it can start to flee a little bit, which means the cold air is still in place, but it's not as oppressive, which means there's enough cold air to support snow. You don't want it to keep fleeing, because as it keeps fleeing north, further away from us, that's when you have to deal with that rain snow line creeping more further inland. You don't want that. You want it to stay out to sea or along the coast. That's fine. But when the rain snow line starts to creep in, because you have the warm air that will be coming off the Atlantic Ocean, which will then raise the temperatures inland from 32 degrees to higher, perhaps, which will be all rain, or it will be a period of sleet. So right now, as of right now, if you are in northern New Jersey, New York City, Connecticut, solid swipe. This is a solid, at least on the minimum side, 6 inches up to a foot. Somebody's going to get a foot. And ideally, I would say those who stay on snow and no sleet and no ice easily will get more than 6. That's without a doubt. Connecticut right now, you look to be a sweet spot for in terms of no mix of sleet and freezing rain, which is good because you'll just be all snow, right? I'm again very much looking at the counties, Suffolk and Nassau counties, the South Shore of those counties maybe mixing in, and the southern South Jersey being a problem too. But If we stay all snow, everybody in this region will get at least a foot. Everybody will get at least a foot. If we stay all snow. Now, the other thing is predicting when would there be a brief period of what we call dry slot. A dry slot. A dry slot happens when there's a period of nothing. There's no precipitation falling, and that's when the storm system is transitioning to the low pressure. The system that is coming out the south will then transition this energy to a low pressure coastal storm that will develop off the coast of the Carolinas. That storm system will move up the coast. When that transition happens, sometimes you have dry slot. When you have a dry slot, you have no precipitation. Sometimes these dry slots happen in the middle of storms. Hard to predict. Hard to predict. Okay, timing. Everybody wants to know about timing for the Northeast, specifically Northeast New Jersey, Northern New Jersey, New York City, Connecticut. So our time period is Saturday night into this thing is probably going to last into Monday. We're talking about Saturday night, Saturday late into the evening, late evening Saturday night, going into Sunday. It's an all-day Sunday event. All-day Sunday event going into Monday morning. Before things start to taper off as we get into late Monday morning, and then the Monday afternoon, things start to pull north away out of Connecticut into into Boston, etc. But this is an all-day event starting late Saturday night, but all day Sunday, and Monday morning as well. So a lot of people have been asking, is school Monday for schools? Well, down south, I'll tell you, they have snow days, so they're going to be closed. All those states that we cover with ice, they're going to be closed, no doubt, because their states don't have the salt and don't have the manpower with the plows like us here in the bigger cities. So they're going to be closed. New York City got rid of snow days. It's called remote days. During COVID, they got rid of snow days and they changed it to remote learning days. So more than likely, if everyone's watching from the tri-state area, they haven't called it yet. Chancellor hasn't called it yet. The mayor hasn't called it yet. I'm saying with confidence that more than likely that call is going to come tomorrow. It has to come tomorrow because Saturday is the weekend. More than likely it has to go out tomorrow before everyone leaves by 5 o'clock that we will have a remote day. Most schools are preparing by sending home the laptops to their kids, the families, so they have a laptop to work from home. So more than likely that decision will come tomorrow. That will be a remote day, more than likely. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, so back to what we were saying. So Northeast, again, bullseye, 6 to 12 inches. And I would say 6 to 12 inches, again, North New Jersey, New York City, going into Connecticut. Somebody might get a little more than a foot, maybe up to 15 inches. Again, that can very much happen, but it would have to happen in a place where you have no mixing, no dry slot. You get those things, you're good. Again, I can see that happening maybe in Connecticut. I can see that happening perhaps in northern New Jersey or portion of eastern Pennsylvania. That's a possibility. But as of right now, to be seen, 6 to 12 inches, is the call. That's how we see it right now. How I see it right now too. Philly, and then Baltimore and DC, and then we'll show a couple maps and we'll be out for tonight. Philly, they don't know what to Stone Watch too, and I don't know why. Again, they didn't update the site, which is okay because we already know what it is. We know what it is for the Delaware Valley, Southeast Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, Delmarva. Again, sweet spot. Woo! Someone down here, maybe it's of 3 o'clock earlier today. This is of earlier today. This has changed somewhat too. And I'm going to tell you that this has just changed a little bit. So this number may look crazy, but I would say cut this down to several inches. I don't think we're going to get 12 to 18 inches in none of these places that's highlighted. Um, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I don't think that's going to happen. Um, Especially now, southern New Jersey dealing with the rain snow line issue. If we get a big thump of snow, which is more than likely going to happen before any mix is going to come, sure, you might get easily 6 inches, 6 to 8 before any ice or any freezing rain uh, or sleet mix in. So, and it's going to fall fast. So I'll cut this down. We're going to cut this down some. This 12 to 18 in Philadelphia metro area, we're cutting this down to, my thought, we're going to cut this down to, guarantee you'll probably get a half a foot, 6 inches of snow in Philadelphia. We'll cut this down to 6 to 12 inches of snow in Philadelphia. 6 to 12 inches of snow in Philadelphia. And when the snow starts to fall, Philly, New York City, Connecticut, we're talking about 1 to 2 inches per hour. It's going to fall. It's going to fall fast. Fast, okay? It's going to fall. It's going to fall fast in periods of time, okay? But the issue is we're going to see perhaps some mixing here in Philly, in New Jersey, in Delaware, in Newark. We could get that sleet in there for a period of time. And then which we mix. We'll slow down accumulations here in this area too. So, with that being said, I do not think we're going to get 18 inches in Philadelphia or southern New Jersey or Delaware. I do not think that's going to happen. But we'll see. Anything could happen between now and then. I mean, ideally, 12 to 18 even has it up here to New York if we were to look at the Upton National Weather Service too. But we have to be cautious because we have to think about, again, that rain snow line and the dry slot. So a lot of that we have to wait for until, some of this stuff is now casting when the day the storm is happening. Obviously, we watch the radars at that point to see where the rain snow line sets up. But ideally, right now, this is the call, just to prepare yourself for a guaranteed snow accumulation that's going to be plowable in the Delaware Valley. Last stop, Baltimore and DC. Last stop, Baltimore and DC. The nation's capital and our friends in Baltimore. Okay? What they call Charm City. Now, so here's the thing with Baltimore and DC. Same thing. You'll get a big thump of snow to start. I think everybody in this region from DC to New York will get a big thump of snow. At the head on the onset, everyone is going to be cold enough, more than likely, to start out snow. At some point in time, some of us may mix in with sleet and freezing rain. I think it's likely that down here in DC and Baltimore, this will be the case. This will definitely be the case, that there will be a period of sleet and ice in DC and Baltimore, which, in fact, I will say to you that more than likely we'll probably get a couple of inches of snow in the beginning, at least 5 inches, with possibly 10 inches of snow. That, to be honest, that will happen more than likely in the places in Maryland, the upshoot northern portion of the state, where it can stay colder for a long period of time before any sleet or freezing rain mix in. So more than likely, we're going to see a big gradient between 20, 25, maybe not even 10, 15, 20 miles in any direction could mean a difference between all snow, somebody getting ice, sleet, freezing rain, okay? That's how tight in some of these areas the gradient is because of our temperatures, okay? So that does it for DC and Baltimore. Now, let me stop sharing this screen. And we're going to go to... I want to go to the models real quick tonight before we sign off. And I want to show you guys a little something. Oh, the AI models. I don't know if I'll be able to show that tonight. I don't think so. Let me see. Let's see. Probably not tonight. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, I'll have to look into this. Let me look into this later. That looks very awesome. But I don't think we'll have a chance to talk about that tonight. I will have to look into that. But there are AI created weather models now that meteorologists are using, and they're the versions of the American model, the GFS, the European model, all have like AI cousins now. They all have AI cousins. So what we're about to see is the traditional models. Hopefully next time in the comings, I'll be able to show you guys the AI models, which are pretty cool because I think they're affiliated, at least one site, excuse me, it looks like to be affiliated with Gemini. Yes, this looks like to be affiliated with Gemini. Yep. Google Cloud, Vertex. Yeah, this looks to be affiliated. Looks to be affiliated with Gemini. Interesting. Yeah, I'll look into this later. This looks to be very interesting. Let's go to excuse me. Nope, we don't want to share that screen no more. Pardon me. I want to share the screen with the computer models. All right. This is the GFS model. And I hope everyone is able to see it. I'm going to try to bring the screen down a little bit. Uh-oh, too far. All right, here we go. All right, let's put this thing in motion and see where we at. Here comes that second. This is that low pressure system we were talking about, making landfall in the Baja, California. Excuse me, in the Four Corners region. That's going to pop out. That's going to pop out right here. You see this high up here? That's supplying all this cold air that's coming down, straight down the pipe. That's that mixed precipitation. See that pink and purple? That's a mix. Blue is snow, green is rain. Let's keep going. Boom. All snow. OKC, Kansas, the Panhandle, Texas. Ice, Dallas. Ice, still, Dallas. All snow, getting now starting to Arkansas. It's the northern portion of the state. Now getting to Missouri. Ice, still in Dallas. Snow now stretching into Tennessee and Kentucky. Ice now getting to northern portion of the state of Louisiana and parts of Mississippi. Deep red, deep pink. This is ice. Ice, southern, now getting to southern Tennessee, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, Atlanta. This is the ice situation. This is the worst case scenario. Cold air is damming, high pressure up here. Cold air is being dammed, what they call damming of cold air, coming down the Appalachian Mountains. It's holding on pretty good. Look at this. Look how widespread, I remember I told you, look how widespread this precipitation is. High pressure, standing still here up in the north in Canada. That's where we want them, right? Right there. All snow on the northern portion of the storm system. OKC, St. Louis, getting into northern portion of Kentucky. This is ice still hanging around Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi. Cold air still jamming down the Appalachians, Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina. That's you in Winston-Salem. That's you in Charlotte. That's you in Atlanta. That's you in Memphis, Nashville. This is ice. Look at this. Finally, we're talking about now the precipitation starting to get into snow. It's snowing out. Northern Virginia, DMV, Delaware, Southern New Jersey, right? Excuse me. High pressure still hanging on. Snow still snowing in Delaware, in DMV, Philadelphia, snowing now. New York City, snowing going to get to North Jersey, right? Low still hanging on here. Cold air still being jammed. Long period of ice. This is an ice situation down the Appalachians. Worst case scenario. This is the worst possibility or worst outcome that you could have in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, into Georgia, and then also our friends in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Texas, Louisiana as well. Finally, our storm system then, like I told you, will, it will transition its energy to a newly developed storm system that will develop just off the coast of the Carolina, off the, south of Delaware, just east of Virginia, off the coast of Virginia. Sweet spot. Still ice here now. Carolina is still ice. Back in now, changing to snow. Louisiana, Mississippi, northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky. Now it's snowing definitely. New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, Boston starting to get into some of the action. Just starting up there. Keep going. Okay, pay attention. This is the GFS model. A little close, okay? Our fleeing high, still right there, 1030. 1030 barometric pressure. Our low is on like 9. What's this? So small, I can't see. Let's say a 960 or something. Not a super strong, by any stretch of imagination, not a super strong storm. Just a lot of precipitation. It's just a lot of moisture with this thing. Excuse me, a lot of moisture. And a lot of cold air to go with it. Ice. Do you see that pink? It's right off the coast. Ooh, that is clutching southern New Jersey. It's clutching Delaware. Huh? That's what I was talking about, the mix happening. GFS, this model of the GFS stays all snow in New York City, all snow in Connecticut, all snow in Boston. Then finally this thing pulls away. It gets brutally cold. I'm talking about it's gonna be brutally cold in the Northeast and a large portion of the country for the next few days after this storm system goes. It's gonna be brutally cold. Temperatures are not gonna it's not even get to the 20s. Barely get to the 20s. We're not gonna hit 30. We're gonna have lows in the teens and single digits starting Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all the way to next weekend. This will be a long duration cold event, but quiet after this until we get to perhaps this is next, what is this, Friday? Hold on, let me pull this up. I can't see the date, but I believe this is next Friday. Yes. January 30th or 31st, we could have another potential snow. But just a very active pattern, I would say. Very active pattern. The southern jet stream is very active. We are switching from a La Nina to an El Nino pattern. We are switching from a La Nina to El Nino pattern. And my man Roy asked me to discuss that. Tonight we won't discuss it because it's very dense, that topic. That'll be another video for another time. But we are switching a pattern, climatic pattern, from La Nina to El Nino. I would just tell you that southern jet stream is going to be loaded. It's going to be loaded. It's going to be a lot of activity coming off that southern jet. The cold air is in place. That's a definite. You never want it to be too cold because that's when you have suppression of storms to the south. We have a tilt. We also have a tilt going on. Look, we have a tilt. We have a tilt going on. You see that tilt? You see this tilt in the jet stream? There's a tilt. And when you get that tilt, that negative tilt, it's a negative tilt. When you get that negative tilt, you get storms. That southern jet stream and the northern jet stream hook up, and you have this tilt going on. This can be proven to be problematic because if you like snow, this is the perfect kind of setup. It's almost like a dream come true. But again, this is too far out. I'm not even going to discuss it because it's just too far out, So let's go to the let's go to the I wonder if is this the European AIFS? Is that the artificial intelligence one? I don't know. I don't know if this is the AIF. I don't know what AIFS stands for. I think this might be the artificial intelligence one of the European. I'm not sure, but let's run it. Let's look at it. This is the European model. Uh-oh. I think we have to go back. Yeah, we have to go back. This is way in advance. Let's go back. Woo. Okay. All right. Well, this is all green, but that's okay. Just don't mind. It's all green. Let's just look at. Let's just look at the synergy between what we would say the GFS American model showing. Again, our storm is going to come out and land on the West Coast. It's making landfall in the Pacific, coming into the Four Corners region. Snow breaks out and ice breaks out. Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas. Same showing. That precipitation spreads on east. And look at that. That's that damming. That cold air being dammed. You see that? Ooh, those lines going like that. Down south like this. With my cursor, you follow my cursor. That's that cold air damming down the Appalachians. This high is a stubborn high. It's receding a little bit. Just enough for the storm system to come up the coast. Not go out to sea. Perfect setup. It's to flee just a little bit. Keep the cold air just enough in place for this to be a snow event for the Northeast and New England. You know? So it's perfect setup. It's just flee a little bit. Allow it to come up the coast. Perfect setup, right? So that's the European. I don't know if this is the artificial intelligence one, or I assume because it's another European. Oh, this is the copyright one. This is the one they allow us to see, and at least I don't know why, but somehow I need to get the version where they allow you to see it. This is a version that I think this version just shows us again what's happening in the atmosphere. And tonight there's so much more we could discuss, but we're running out of time, so I want to keep you all too long. But I just like to show, that's a lot of cold air. A lot of cold air up there, my peoples. It's a lot of cold air. Hold on, let me see. What hour we need to be in? This doesn't go out too far. This is okay. Forget that one. All right. Well, the mesoscale, we're not going to discuss the mesoscale. I mean, we could. Let's see. The NAM is in the NAM in motion. Why is it still on here? The ensembles. Ooh, we'll look at these. These are just a bunch of other stuff we could look at tonight, but we don't have time. But I think the point is tonight, we'll stop sharing. The point is tonight to prepare yourself. Those who have precipitation tomorrow, you should have wrapped up your planning today. If you haven't wrapped it up, wrap it up tonight. Maybe tomorrow morning, but after that, it's going to be downhill in Dallas, OKC Friday night. And then everybody else, as the storm moves east, you have at least another day. You have at least another day. So if you're living here, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, you have another day. You have Friday, you have all day Friday, and you have Saturday. Well, part of Saturday for some. Some will start on Saturday, but you have some time to to prepare yourself. Don't forget your water. Don't forget your prescriptions if you have medication, cash on hand, flashlights, batteries, those kind of things. Generators, if you have them, make sure they're juiced and ready to go. Do not use your stove to provide heat, because that's a main source of carbon monoxide poisoning, and you will feel the effects of carbon monoxide. Silent killer. Silent killer. Do not use your stove to, please do not use your stove to heat your apartments or places of living. It's a immediate carbon monoxide producer, and you do not want to deal with that. please. So please refrain from using your ovens to heat yourselves. It will get brutally cold after Fern is over, and there'll be a lot of people. So the South will thaw out quickly than the North. The North and the Mid-Atlantic will hold on to cold air, especially here in the Northeast. Will hold on for several days. All right, that does it for me. That's it for tonight. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always leave them in the comment section below. Oh, before we sign off, do not forget the Patreon. We are on Patreon. We are on Patreon right there. That's the link on the screen. Feel free to subscribe. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can subscribe at $5 a month. $5 a month, you can subscribe if you're feeling extra generous. Well, we welcome your subscriptions for content, as we will be uploading content on there on a more consistent basis. All right. Until next time, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum.